Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about exercise, and in particular, the beneficial effects thereof. That I go to the gym regularly. I feel that I have to. It is a necessity. And I certainly wouldn't say that I'm enjoying going to the gym. It is just one of those things you have to do. Now, apparently, I'm doing myself good with this. I sincerely hope so anyway, because exercise is supposed to give us better health, more resistant, and keep us slim, and give us a long and active life. That's what the experts say. And I was interested in to read a story in the press about the effect of exercise, but actually proven effects. And I'm going to go back a bit in time to shortly after the Second World War, where exercise was not so common and people didn't really know about the beneficial effects. Now a strange phenomenon started to be noticed at that state, that people were dying of heart attack more and more frequently. People from also different backgrounds as well. And there were a number of doctors who started to look at this phenomenon and of course to ask why and to try to find out. Now a scientist called Jerry Morris in the United Kingdom decided to undertake some research. Now he, by the way, is still alive, nearly 100 years old, doing very well indeed, and it's clearly a very good advertisement for his own advice. He decided to focus his research on a particular job, say worker in a particular area. He started off by looking at post office workers and transport workers, beginning with the former. The first result he achieved was particularly interesting. They were all taken from the London area, where he had been looking at cases of basically busmen, people working on buses, driver, and conductors. He noticed a big difference between the two categories. The driver did a lot worse. Many more of them died of heart attack or had heart disease. And he looked into the backgrounds of both driver and conductors. It sort of was similar, the same sort of social background, the same kind of lifestyle, and a similar diet. But here's a big difference. The driver, of course, have a sedentary job. They were seated at the wheel at the bus at a jail, whereas the conductor were running up and down the stairs of double-decker buses. On average, evidently a bus conductor runs up and down somewhere between 500 and 750 stairs every day. That's a lot of stairs. So they are half as likely as the driver to die of heart attack. Interesting research. And we all know that the exercise does indeed present heart disease. It also help disease, cancer, diabetes, and many other conditions. But Jerry Morris is one of the very first to see the link between the two and to set about proving it. The reason that he moved on to the next category will try to back up his first research. Now, just to remind you that this was the golden age of medicine in the UK in the 1940s. That was when the National Health Service started. So Mr. Morris decided to continue with his work and to come up with some firm, hard facts and proof. He loved all the post office work, isn't it? And here he have a big break because the similarity between the two, the busmen and the post office workers, was very striking. If you look back at that time, bus drivers now, they were among the very first to have a completely sedentary job in that stage. After all, we know that moving is good, we know that exercise is good, we know that smoking is bad, but in those days things were not so clear and not so easily defined. The post office workers. Interestingly there, we see the post office workers who worked seated in the post office another day, again, were more prone to heart attacks and heart disease than the postman. The postman, what are they doing? Walking or cycling around the street delivering the mail. So he really had his heart and fast back. I think that results and conclusion are very clear to all of us. Perhaps something that relief to me because, as I said, I don't especially enjoy going to the gym and doing my exercise. But apparently it works. And now our governments are realizing that too. They're spending, all of them, massive money, huge budget, on obesity-related disease. We know that 10% of the budget of the National Health Service is on diabetes. Diabetes causes mainly obesity. So it is time for us to think seriously about how to counteract all these effects and take it from Mr. Morrissey's very interesting research. All I can say to you is try to go to the gym, have your exercise, and at least have the hope of a long and active life. Thank you.